Okay, so if you've happened to seen any of my comments on various MTG YouTube channels, you'll know that I'm very pissed off about WotC banning Uro. So, I was going to make a video just discussing that, but I thought I would do it while playing this game instead of making a separate video that no one's going to watch. So, this is Sultai mid-range, geared more towards beating aggro. So, 2 Fatal Push, 4 Eliminate, 2 Assassin's Trophy, 4 Growth Spiral, 1 Maelstrom Pulse, 4 Uro, 2 Binding of the Old Gods, 3 Elder Gargroth, 4 Nissa, 2 Coma, Cosmos Serpent, this card's really good, 4 Krasis, and 28 lands. It's the typical mana base. Sideboard is all of our interaction. Thoughtseize, Disdainful Stroke, Negate, Mystical Dispute, and then a couple of Extinction events if you need them. Thoughtseize against aggro decks isn't great. They're going to empty their hand a lot of the time, and it's a bad top deck against those types of decks. So I just wanted to maximize the mid-range threats. And with Growth Spirals and Uro, these are all very much mid-rangey threats. So that's the point of the deck. Sultai mid-range. I like this color combination a lot, and now WotC's fucking killed it because they've banned Uro everywhere for some god-forsaken fucking reason. Alright, so what are we going to call the deck? Son of God. Okay, so why Uro shouldn't be banned. If you go back all the way to Snow Control, first of all, it took Uro like 2 months after release to actually find a home in Modern because people just weren't convinced it was worth it. So someone, or a group of someones, decided to put it in the old Snow Control shells from when Oko was legal, and that was the home for it. That became, and like Bant was the first one, and then you had Sultai, and then there were a couple of Yorion and Temur versions. So if you look at that meta, all of those decks were like the top decks in Modern at the time. Bant was number 1, Sultai was right behind it. There was Temur, and like I said, a couple of Yorion piles, and all of that shit. So like they were like right, like back to back basically. There was nothing else. Nothing else could really compete with that. The reason was not Uro. You had Astrolabe, which allows you to play a ton of basics and always have perfect colors. Like there were people who were playing Field of Ruin, so they kind of leaned more into it. But if you weren't playing Field of Ruin and you just maximized the basics, you had perfect, painless mana that was basically on par with a legacy mana base. And then you had Icefang Codal, which was basically always turned on turn 2. And Icefang Codal basically shut out all aggro and creature decks that weren't Lava Dart decks. And it did that because it had Death Touch all the time, and it replaced itself. And it had Flash. Icefang Codal did so much work for the deck, I think it's drastically, like, criminally underrated what Icefang Codal did for the decks. It just allowed so much resiliency because you just drop it and then you can block and trade with anything. So it pushed out non-Lava Dart aggro decks. And then after they banned Astrolabe, you see Icefang Codal almost disappears from Modern because it's not worth the effort of playing it because there's no snow duels at this point. And even now with the snow duels, nobody's playing Icefang Codal. It's still not worth it. You saw a reduction in the amount of Uro that was actually played. Uro goes from being everywhere to being almost nowhere. Like, not even Doom Switch was putting up, particularly good results with various Uro decks. He played Bant and Sultai. Like, it didn't afford you the kind of power that it had when you were playing Astrolabe and Icefang Codal. And his results were just, they were good because he's a damn good player. But, like, you know, they were just good results. Like, the Uro decks were nowhere near dominant. After a while, like a month or so after that ban, you see Red Black Shadow just immediately, like after the Astrolabe ban, Red Black Shadow just immediately filled the void and just took over. And then you had Blue Red Blitz and Mono Red, and these aggro decks just fucking took over completely. Control decks basically died. Like, Bant was dead, Temur was dead, Sultai was dead. All you had was blue-white, and blue-white just it can't compete with these fucking ridiculous aggro decks. So until Field of the Dead was adopted, the archetype of control basically just died. Like, it was dead. And even with Field of the Dead, the decks were not, like, of a ridiculous power level. Bant and Sultai Field, like, Bant was the best deck, but not by much. I think it was like, at its height, it was like 5% of the meta. So, like, the meta was super diverse. You had good control decks, good aggro decks, good combo decks, all this shit. And everything was basically fine. And then Omnath comes out. And you have 4-color. And the interaction, like the synergy between Omnath, Field of the Dead, and Ren and 6 is what really pushes the decks over the top. I mean, it's incredibly obvious if you just look at the results that these decks put up. Compared to, like, Sultai and Temur. Sultai and Temur together are anywhere between 5 and 6% of the meta. And Omnath, 4-color control, has consistently been between 7 and then as high as like 13%, like a month ago. I think not even a month. It was like 2 weeks ago, before the Valky bullshit. You had them sitting at about between 7 and 12%. The non-4-color Uro decks are not doing that well. They can't compete with the aggro decks. If they could compete with the aggro decks, like if it was just Uro, then you would see the other aggro or the other Uro decks would be like right under 4-color. Just like it was back with Snow Control. They would be right there with it. That's not what you see though. There's like 5 aggro decks and a combo aggro deck and Heliod combo, like right behind it. So like, why does Uro have to be banned? And basically it's because people are just annoyed by it. Well, like, why is that a justification to ban the card, right? Like, that's what I don't understand. Personally, I'm sick of bullshit aggro and combo decks always having to be fucking catered to by Wizards of the Coast and the toxic as fuck Magic community. But, like, you know, you don't ban that bullshit. No, that can do whatever the fuck it wants. And, like, right now, they're banning Uro and Historic. I have not even drawn an Uro or cast one. I've taken over this game, not even fucking paying attention to what my opponent's doing, to be honest. And it's just been with Nissa. Like, I'm fucking taking over the game and it's with Nissa. And then two removal spells. All I did was play lands, a Hydroid Krasis, and a Gargaroth, 2 removal spells, and Nissa's completely taken over this fucking game. I don't care what he's doing, I'm beating him to death with lands from Nissa. And I'm gonna ultimate in the Nissa, play all the forests in my deck, and then play another Nissa, and then he's fucked. Like, Uro had no impact here. Uro is almost nothing in these decks. Like, I think Sultai will be perfectly fine without Uro in Historic. I'm not worried about that. It's just Uro's being banned simply for the ubiquity of Uro. It's fucking ridiculous. It's because a bunch of people don't fucking like it. For whatever goddamn reason. And like, I just don't fucking understand why WotC's caving to these people. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, Nissa. I just took over this game with Nissa and just destroyed it. No Uro was involved. Just Nissa. The Gargaroth, but all it gave me was a token and then it died. I wasn't even paying attention to the game. Because I'm fucking complaining about the Uro ban. So yeah, like, I don't fucking get it. Like, why ban Uro? Especially in Modern. All the Uro ban in Modern is going to do is kill control decks. Control will no longer be viable. I know, I've been playing Blue-White for almost 3 years now exclusively. Between that and the Uro decks, my main deck has been Blue-White Control. It can't fucking compete with everything else. Blue-White cannot compete with Red-Black Shadow. It can't really, like, it has a very hard time with Blue-Red. And Blue-Red is actually probably better because they get counter spells, if they want, in the sideboard. Blue-White can't really beat Hammer Time consistently because Hammer Time can fucking kill you on turn 2, but that's somehow fine. And like Heliod combo, I think Blue-White would be okay against, but they can just outright kill you in like one turn. They have a 2-card combo where one piece, Heliod, is the exact fucking same card. And they have 2-card infinite combos. Okay? It's the Heliod Walking Ballista infinite damage bullshit, and then the Heliod Spike Feeder infinite life gain bullshit. And they can roll into this combo off of Collected Company. The only reason this deck isn't taking over MTGO is because of the fact that it takes a fuck ton of clicking to get through. Like, that's the only reason. Like, one cycle of the combo is like, what, 30 seconds to pull off or something like that? It just takes forever to pull off the combos online. And that's the main reason why you don't see that deck just completely fucking dominating. And even now, it's like the 5th most played deck. So I'm really having trouble seeing what the problem with Uro is. Like, I just don't understand it. Even the 4-color deck is not that dominant. It's the most dominant deck in the format, but not by much. And if you want to weaken that deck, ban Omnath. Like, I play both versions of the deck. I've played every iteration of Uro deck basically since April of last year. I started with Bant, and then I built Sultai Snow, and then I had Teamer Snow I played around with, and then all of the Urion versions back before the companion nerf. So, like, I just don't get the Uro hate. Like, the decks have always been manageable. Like, even, like, the Snow Control deck was a bit much because it did push out a lot of aggro decks. So, fine. I understand why Astrolabe is banned, and I'm fine with that. I mean, it really did push out, like, non-Lava Dart decks. But, like, the mid-range decks, like Jund, had a pretty good matchup against Snow Control. Like, pre-board, they were about 50-50, and then post-sideboard, I feel like Jund was pretty well favored. Jund has a shit ton of just ridiculous value creatures that it has access to. Crocs, Seasoned Pyromancer, they have Wrenn and 6, and And then they have like universal removal and just a shit ton of like discard. So like Jund is pretty well set against no control, or was rather. And they have Boil. You know, just to like really rub it in. I'm gonna do this for 6. Okay, so like I feel like the meta then was fine. Like I hate aggro decks, right? So I don't care if they're pushed out, but like I get why you might want to, you know, ban the Astrolabe. Fine. But right now, like the Bant Field of the Dead and Sultai Field and Temur Field were not a problem. Uro is clear, or not Uro. Omnath is clearly the card that should be banned, and Uro should just stay in Modern. Like, look, even Scavenging Ooze in this format fucking answers Uro pretty easily. Like, what the hell? But yeah, there's like tons of answers to Uro, and it's like everybody ignores it because they just don't like it. They say it does too much. Like, I gained 3 life, I drew a card, and I put a land. Like, I explored with a healing salve. Like, I don't see why this is a big deal to people. And again, I'm winning this game with Nissa. Like, my opponent has no fucking chance because of Nissa. And to a lesser extent, Hydroid Krasis. Just being a better version of Sphinx's Rev, basically. But yeah, like, I just don't see Uro being banned. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Especially in Modern, because if they don't ban Field of the Dead, first of all, Titan decks are just going to take over. Like they always do when there's bans that hit control. The Titan decks just fucking rise up and then beat the shit out of everyone. Primeval Titan probably should have been banned a long fucking time ago, because it does what Uro does, but it does it on fucking steroids. So like, I don't know how they've justified keeping that fucker around as long as they have. I mean, people bitch that Uro is a payoff, like an enabler and a payoff. What the fuck is Primeval Titan exactly? It's a payoff and an enabler. So like, I just don't understand what the fuck WotC's doing. Yeah. And then Nissa just curb stomping again. Like, Uro's not a problem in Modern, and it's clearly not a problem in Historic. Do a lot of decks play it? Absolutely. Are they the top of the meta? Not a chance. The best deck is Jund Sacrifice, which is an absolute fucking miserable pile of evil, disgusting shit. But it's totally fine. It's allowed to exist. And then Goblins, which is the most insane fucking creature combo deck possibly ever. Because they have... The Goblins is a fantastic... Like, it's a really good aggro deck. It's a fantastic mid-range deck. And then with Muxus, it's just a brutally efficient combo deck that just fucking destroys people. But yet, it's considered fine. Like, it can run around and not be touched by bans at all. Like, you ban Uro, and basically, the majority of mid-range decks go away. I think Sultai Ramp will be fine if they don't ban Nissa. This is the card that allows this deck to be competitive. Uro and, like, Hydroid Krasis are just around Nissa. This deck, it's a Nissa deck. Nissa's busted. But as long as this is alright, then I think Sultai and Historic will be a playable deck. It's going to be worse, because you don't have the life gain, which helps sometimes. But you saw in that first game, it didn't matter. I didn't have an Uro. I just took over with Nissa. The best way to, you know, protect your life total Or to gain life is to just play creatures. And what the fuck does Nissa do? It turns all my lands into 3/3 creatures. So yeah, I think WotC are just horrible at managing this game. And I fucked up here. I should have played the island so I could have Growth Spiral, but... I don't care what he takes. But yeah, and like I said, after the Astrolabe ban, you see Uro just kind of fall out of control decks. People are going back to blue-white, trying to like make that work, and they're getting steamrolled by everything. And then Field of the Dead comes in, control decks regain ground. Bant Control or Bant Field is one of the top 5 decks in the format. It wasn't definitively the best deck. Like 4 color is definitively the best deck in the format. Bant was not that good. Bant could be ran over by the aggro decks. It could be comboed out. And then even Jund had about a fair matchup. It was about 50-50 against the non-Omnath field decks. So like Omnath is clearly the problem card, but they won't ban that because it's like the new mythic, I guess. Like I don't know. They want to see how much of that they can sell, I guess, is what they're doing. Because like Omnath is clearly the problem card, and you can see that by just how dominant Field of the Dead is, or those decks are in comparison to the previous 3 color versions, and even the current 3 color versions. That's what I said. Like I don't understand what the hell they're doing. Like it's insane to go and ban Uro, when clearly the only actual problem is Omnath. And like I said, if they don't ban Field of the Dead, 4 color is still going to be the best deck. By far. And I was going to quit Magic, but I'll play the 4 color deck just to like show people how fucking ridiculous it is, and that Uro is essentially not the problem. It's just ridiculous. All you have to do, you play the 4th Ren and 6, and then you just... I don't care, I'm gonna lose this game. You play Primeval Titan in place of Uro, and you're just a more consistent... You're probably more consistent because you can get Field of the Dead online a lot faster. And like that's the deck. So like I don't get what the fuck they're doing. Banning Uro. All they're doing is killing control decks. Aside from that one control deck. 4 color, it'll still be a controlling deck because you'll still play the same amount of counter magic. And I imagine the sideboard would stay relatively the same. You're just more all in on like the big ramp mana game. So you're gonna worsen mid-range's matchup, like basically shut them out. It's a lot easier for Jund to deal with Uro, despite what the fucking Jund crowd will say. It's a lot easier for them to deal with Uro than it is to deal with Omnath and Primeval Titans and just getting Field of the Dead online by like turn 4 or 5, which you can feasibly do with Growth Spiral alone if you don't want to play like Explore or something like that. Uro is weak to graveyard hate, any type of graveyard interaction. It's just like this card is not ban worthy at all, except for maybe in Standard, which they did ban it. Alright, in Standard I can see this card being too much, just on its own, without the rest of the bullshit around it. Like I get that, fine. But Historic, Pioneer, and Modern, like what even fucking is the best deck in Pioneer? Last time I checked, it was some fucking ridiculous combo deck. It's 2 or 3 ridiculous combo decks. So I don't understand that ban at all. And then Historic, like this format, so what? Like I'm gonna play an Uro. Am I gonna play Uro? So ban-worthy. So ban-worthy. Oh, he costs 4 mana and 5 cards from my graveyard. Oh, that's especially difficult in these formats. Historic, Pioneer. So I really, really don't like. If your argument for like Modern is that fetch lands exist, which is apparently a problem for some reason, you know, like fueling Uro faster. Like, so what? It's fucking Modern. The aggro decks are trying to kill me by turn 3, for fuck's sake. Why can't I have my slow, dirty beat stick that actually makes the type of decks that I like to play relevant? Like, I just don't get it. It's like a fucking witch hunt. That's what it is. It's a witch hunt. Because the idiots on Reddit don't like it. They don't have any problem with being killed by Red-Black Shadow on turn 3, or Hammer Time on turn 3, or Blue-Red Blitz, or Mono-Red, or any of that fucking bullshit. They don't have a fucking problem with that. But Uro's just too fucking much. Like, they can't deal with Uro. A slow, plodding control deck is just way too much for them to deal with. And fuck everyone for forcing the aggro players to play around a card for a change. Everyone else should have to conform to what the fuck they're doing. And they shouldn't have to play around anything at all. Like, that's the attitude. And WotC's just, like, idiotically caving to it. And it just fucking pisses me off. There's no reason to ban this card. If you look at all of the results, the challenge results, any type of data or any of that bullshit, there's literally no goddamn reason to ban this card. Are you fucking serious? Alright, so now I have to sacrifice a bunch of shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I really don't want to sacrifice the Dark Girl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna well, yeah, I'm gonna sack a land. I'm gonna just keep 3 lands. Keep the Gargoyle. This is bigger than all of his shit. I'll draw cards off of this. If I hit a land, I can play Uro or Nissa. Yeah, like, whatever. Sure. But yeah, I thought this would be better than just, like, making a video and... Fuck you. Because at least, like, if you don't want to hear me talk, you can watch the game. I think it's more interesting than just, like, making a random ass video about how Uro shouldn't be banned. And I don't believe it should be. Especially not in this format. And, like, it shouldn't be banned in Modern. Control decks will die. If they hit Field of the Dead, they'll die entirely. If they just hit Uro, then you'll have 4 color, which is a sort of control deck. I don't know why he's attacking into that. I'm just gonna not block. Maybe he plays Languish, so that's a reason to not block. I'll just push that. Yeah, it's annoying. It's incredibly obnoxious. Completely unnecessary. And just fucking ridiculous. Like, this is the first game where Uro's been relevant out of 5. I kind of steamrolled, well, 4. The other guy, he quit game 1 automatically. But, like, and look at what my opponent's just playing dirtily fucking mid-range shit. Like, this isn't gonna be aggro decks either. So, like, you can't even blame, like, Uro. You can't blame this deck being shit on Uro's existence. Like, this deck is just garbage. I've beaten this deck with everything that I've played. It's not a good deck. It's actually, I would say, one of its better matchups is probably an Uro deck because of Phyrexian Obliterator and that Primal Might card. You can just pull that shit off. I've been hit with that a couple of times. And it's annoying. If I'm playing blue-white, they can't get away with that shit because I don't have any creatures. And I have exiling removal or just outright destroy effects, and they're fucked. So, like, decks like that are just shit. Like, Uro's not oppressing anything in this format. Like, not at all. It's not like Goblins, where you have to have dedicated sideboard or even main deck hate, which, to my knowledge, is only in the form of Grafdigger's Cage. And they're just allowed to, like, fucking run roughshod over everyone. Like, to me, that's what's unacceptable. It's not like the Aetherworks Marvel decks, which just have so many different fucking combos that they can pull off and smack you around with. It's just ridiculous. The combo decks in this format are incredibly obnoxious. They may not be the best decks in the format, but they're so obnoxious. Like, I don't understand why those are considered okay, but the card that allows mid-range decks and control decks to be, like, competitive, this has to go. Like, I don't understand it. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. And like I said, I do think this deck will be okay without Uro. But like Bant's not really playable now with Uro. Probably what did it mean? So like, what the fuck? And then you have like, here's this fucking red-black aggro bullshit. This deck will try to kill you by turn 3. And like, you might not be actually dead, but you're effectively dead to these fucking decks. So like, you can't convince me that Uro's a problem when this shit's allowed to run around. And it's not like I said, Uro's not oppressing this shit. This shit is all above Uro decks in terms of the meta share. Like, Sultai might be like the most played deck, but it's certainly not the most winning deck. I think its win rate is like, I don't know, it's not even 50%. Like, it's just a good mid-range deck. It's basically the Jund of the format that isn't fucking Jund sacrifice bullshit. Like, that's what the deck is. It's the traditional Jund of the format. I mean, my version's a little more warped, as they always are. I don't usually play the standard decks. But, like, yeah. Like, why is Uro considered a problem? And if you just look at the formats that he's being banned in, you'll see, like, he's not a ban-worthy card. Not in the least. So I don't understand what the hell they're doing. It just pisses me off. Okay, so that's my rant on Uro. I've posted a bunch of comments everywhere. Like Nikachu and Grimflayer MTG, just kind of arguing in favor of Uro and why it shouldn't be banned. And like basically the counter arguments boil down to, we don't like it, so it needs to be banned. And that's the counter argument. And like I'm disgusted by it because they're not doing anything to deal with the aggro and combo bullshit in any of these formats. They're not doing anything to no, they're not printing cards that make control viable either. So like, what the fuck are they doing? They're just killing a whole archetype essentially, because the game has gotten so fucking ridiculous that it takes something like this to make control playable. Like, you have to turn your control deck into almost a mid-range style deck to make it compete with the fucking shit that's going on in Magic nowadays. And now they're gonna ban it. So, yeah, you'll see it die. If they hit Field of the Dead, then 4 color is completely dead, and control as an archetype just dies. It's done. Like, you can't put Field of the Deck reliably in, like, blue-white. Skura tried that. It's not very good. And, like, shit like this is literally 2 cards and 1 card, and they're both incredibly efficient, and they just have ridiculous upside. So, like, this shit's fine for standard, but Uro was considered too much. I mean, I can kind of understand an Uro ban in standard, but at a certain point, it's just fucking ridiculous. Like, the whole thing's a goddamn witch hunt. I needed to float the mana. Whatever. I'll just play Uro. Oh yeah, and this fucking thing. I forgot to mention this. Jund has access to this. They always bitch and whine that they don't have anything and that they can't compete. But they have so many tools that just beat the shit out of, like, normal Uro decks. What they can't beat is the engine of Omnath and Field of the Dead, and even Ren and 6. Like, Ren and 6 is a busted fucking card, and they had it first. So, like, it's not my fault that they suck and they can't, like, adapt. But I think Omnath is the problem card, absolutely. And it's real easy to find this shit too. You just go on Goldfish for the past year, right? You look at the most played decks, Jund's #1, and like 3 or 4 red aggro decks are behind it. You have to go down like 5 or 6 decks before you even get to the point where Bant Snow is even like one of the better decks. Like, what the fuck? It's ridiculous. If you go on MTG Top 8, it'll break down the archetype percentage over any amount of time that you would like to see, and you'll clearly see that these decks aren't doing anything that's ban worthy. Not even 4 color. It's just the best deck. There's always a best deck in the format. Right now, it's a control ramp style deck. Nobody bitches and whines when, like, Death Shadow is destroying everyone. It's like, I just don't understand the problem. I don't see what the big deal is. And it's especially ridiculous when, like I said, you just look back at how the format's gone, and like, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. Focus more on the game, because I don't like the opponent thinking that he's better than me. So I'm just gonna kill this guy, and maybe I'll go back to talking about it. I will say, though, that all of the cards that hate out Uro are not bad cards by any stretch. Like, they are all really good cards that you could easily main deck. And that's what pisses me off even more. It's not like they're niche cards. It's not like Hogak, where you needed, like, very narrow sideboard cards to have a chance at competing. It's not like that at all. How long has this game gone on? I'm gonna say about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. This is like turn, what? 3, 7, 10? Turn 10. Against an aggro mid-rangey type of deck. And my mid-rangey control-ish deck came out on top after like 10 or 11 turns. 15 minutes of game time. Like, that's not even a fucking problem. I was able to stabilize, and then I took over the game. Like, you can't argue that Uro needs banned. You just can't. And honestly, the game probably wouldn't even have gotten to that point if I had been paying more attention. As soon as I shut up about it and started focusing on the game, like, just done. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. Nope, I am most likely just done with Magic after they ban Uro. The ban is not at all justified. The only reason they're doing it is because people bitch about it online, mostly Reddit, because they just don't like having to adapt and like play around things. And they're entitled, spoiled little whiny bitches who don't think they should even have to adapt to anything. And that's what it is. As someone who's played blue-white control for literal years, I've had to adapt to everyone else's bullshit. Everyone else's fucking fire cards, as they like to call them, I've had to adapt to with subpar shit. I'm not even allowed to have counterspell in Modern because it's considered too good. Even though turn 3 Karn is fine. Back in the old days. Alright? That was fine. I'm not even allowed to have counterspell in my control decks because it's too efficient. Bleh. So what the fuck am I supposed to do? You print a creature card that makes control relevant and has game against aggro, and now it has to be banned because people don't fucking like it. So the precedent is, anytime control gets anything that people don't like, it gets banned. Anytime the so-called community gets their fucking panties in a bunch over anything they don't like, it's gonna get banned. And I just don't see how that's healthy for the game. Like, are they gonna ban Monastery Swiftspear for being the next most played creature after Uro? Like, Uro was in like 20% of modern decks as a creature. First of all, that's not that big of a deal. It's like 1/5. Like, so what? It only sees play in control decks, and then a couple of fringe mid-range decks. I don't see how that's a problem. And then you have it... Like, you have Swiftspear, and then Lurrus, and a bunch of fucking aggro creatures, all behind it. And then the 10th most played creature is Kroxa, because, you know, of course it fucking is. And I would argue that Kroxa is infinitely more annoying to deal with than Uro, because Kroxa actively strips your fucking hand away, and it just makes the game miserable to play. Like, Kroxa is a miserable fucking Magic card. Discards a card and loses 2 life. Discard a card. How many fucking lands do I have? I don't need that. Like, Kroxa is a miserable fucking Magic card. And it bolsters decks that don't even fucking need it. Like, these red-black aggro decks, I'm talking mostly historic. In Modern, I believe Kroxa, like Uro, is totally fine. But in this format, the fucking red and black decks don't need Kroxa, but they're allowed to have it. The standard red-black decks don't need Kroxa. It's ridiculous, but they're allowed to have it. It's only when you put the fucking blue color into things that people start bitching. And to me, it's fucking disgusting. Like, Wizards of the Coast doesn't make creature aggro decks play around anything. They will actively go out of their way to cater to them, and it's just fucking ridiculous. And like I said, the precedent it sets. So anytime some asshole bitches about anything, it's getting banned. And like, fuck Thoughtseize, dude. Fuck this card. I look forward to Wizards of the Coast banning Monastery Swiftspear because prowess decks are going to take over the fucking format. Like, let's see that happen, right? It's not going to fucking happen. Like, they're not going to do it at all. They're not going to ban Death Shadow. They're not going to ban Scourge of the Skyclave. They're not going to ban the giant Frostbird thingy from Blue Red Blitz. They're not going to ban any of that shit. They're just going to kill control in mid-range. In this format, mid-range. Besides the fucking sacrifice deck or whatever the hell my opponent was doing over here. They're just going to ban those decks. And like, if you really wanted to hit this deck, and these like Uro ramp mid-range control decks, you would ban Nissa. This card is ridiculous. And I hope that those first two games really capture just how much better this card is in these decks than Uro is. Like, I can gain some life off of Uro. There's other cards that'll gain me life. That'll allow me to stabilize. And then I just play Nissa and then take over the game. It would be one thing if in this format, Uro decks were at the absolute top and just destroying everyone, but they're not. My best matchups in this format when I play blue-white control are Uro decks. Any Uro deck. It's my best matchup. I'm gonna blow that up right now. Easily my best matchup. Uro decks. If I was playing blue-white control and I could just play against any Uro deck, day after day, I'd be totally fine with that. What the fuck? Just one more spell this turn. Okay, I guess it cost 4 mana, whatever. Yeah, alright. Are there any even good Minotaurs in this format? Like, what? Am I just dead? Alright, I'll kill that, I guess. Alright, so none of these have haste, so I'm not dead. So, like, I mean, yeah, that's gonna be hard to beat, but, like... Yeah, I don't know. Guess I'll just play this. I don't know what he's doing. Like, I mean, I know what he's doing, I don't know why he's doing it, basically. Yeah, whatever. I think it's safe to say I've lost this game, but whatever. Like, it's a Minotaur combo deck that doesn't go off until turn 4, so cool. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I don't know. They don't give him haste, so Extinction Rent's probably good. Fatal Push not looking so great. Eliminate. They didn't play any early creatures. They'll just play some negates and then some strokes. I mean, he can probably transition into a full-on aggro deck, so like whatever. Yeah, it looks fine. I think I've won 3 matches already, so yeah, I might be onto something with this build of Sultai. Too bad it's gonna get fucked for no good reason. Growth Spiral in hand. I'm probably not going to need to trophy anything. Yeah, I don't really care about those type of effects. It's not really that... Like, these are only good if you have a shit ton of pressure to back it up with. Which, last game he didn't, so... I want the black on that. So, unfortunately, I can't play that. That's a downside to playing these lands. The upside is that you do save a lot of life. So... And rare cards, mostly. Control a first strike. As long as you have one or fewer cards in hand, to a 0. Does it have haste? No, just first strike. Yeah, I'm gonna let this go. I don't want to waste time fucking with this. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I don't want to discard a card, so I'm gonna just kill this now. Yeah, like it... I don't know. These cards just aren't good. These types of effects. Unless you're like a dedicated red deck wins or aggro deck burn, whatever. Like, they're just not good. He's more of like a mid-range deck with a combo finish. So, like...
How many fucking Nahams are there?
Wow. 28 lands, no lands. Yeah, I won 3 matches, so now it's like auto lose time. Yeah, like this card's just a waste of fucking slot for this guy. I really only need 1 black mana, so I'm just gonna make blue. I might hit it with counter. I don't think so. I'm gonna discard the extra extinction event that I don't currently need. Trophy this. Garg or Nissa? Nissa's probably going to be harder for him to interact with. And I feel like Gargroth against this deck is probably gonna be better at like stabilizing, so I'll go ahead and play Nissa first. Okay. Well, I have the extinction event, so yep. Hopefully they're odd. Are they? Those are even. That's even. That's odd. That's even. That's odd. Alright, what fucks me the hardest? Alright, so I have to go even here. gotten really fucking stifled on lands this game. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, well that was an interesting deck. I have not seen this card played one time since I've been playing Arena. I've been playing Arena since September, so, you know, that's interesting. What are you gonna do about that? I don't give a shit. Alright. Let me see. I won 3 matches, and then lost 1, so I'll play 1 more, and then this video will be done. I don't really have much enthusiasm to play Magic anymore, but I did want to, like, rant a little bit and just lay it out. My initial plan was to just go to the top 8 and Goldfish and just show people how wrong they are about Uro, but like I did that in all of the comments that I have left everywhere, and people were fucking trying to argue with me anyway, and basically their argument came down to, I don't like Uro, it hurts my feelings, ban it, and that was the extent of it. So I wasn't getting anywhere. A couple people kind of ended up agreeing with me, but it's just fucking pointless to sit here and do a long ass uninteresting, boring video. Essentially whining is what it is. So, like, the people who are bitching are not going to listen to, like, actual facts. They're not going to pay attention to any data that you present to them. They're just going to bitch about it until they get what they want, which is the card ban, because they don't fucking like it. So, I'll just play Magic and rant a bit. And, yeah. But I'm not very enthusiastic about playing the game going forward. And not just for the banning of Uro. That was a waste of a counterspell. Not just for the banning of Uro. Primarily for the precedent that it sets. And that is, if the community bitches and whines enough, anything can get banned, regardless of whether or not it's deserving so. Like, that is the main problem that I have right now. It's like all people have to do is just bitch about it, and then WotC's gonna step in and ban it for no real reason whatsoever. And that is my problem with this shit. I'm gonna use this because I don't want to ramp him. And honestly, I don't mind the idea of getting a full receiver. This card is... I've never played with this, so this is my first time using it, and I really like this a lot. So, yeah, go ahead. I'm just going to trophy it. He'll draw. I'll trophy in response to the activated ability. Just kill it, and we'll be done with it. Bant sucks. Even with Uro, Bant's terrible. I've tried playing Bant. It's fucking awful. This card is basically almost unplayable in this format, to be completely honest. So, you know. And I hate that because I love Teferi, but it's really not a playable card in this format for the most part. I guess a final point is that it really shouldn't matter if a card is played a lot. What should matter is the actual, like, win percentages of the decks it's played in. And that's what I said, the only Uro deck in Modern that has, like, a really good win percentage is 4 color. And to deal with that, you literally just ban Omnath, and the deck goes away. Omnath is a hell of a lot more powerful than people give it credit for. Like, it really is. Like, Omnath is an incredibly powerful card. But people don't seem to want to acknowledge that. They just blame Uro. And like I said, if Field of the Dead isn't banned, 4 color is still going to be the best deck. By far. It's going to be even better because decks that could challenge it aren't going to be around anymore. So, you know, there's that. Yeah, And in this format, I especially don't understand the Uro ban. It's just played a lot, but the Uro decks are not that good. The two best decks are Jund Sacrifice and Goblins. Just the two best decks. They curb stomp most everything. Vant is terrible. Unless you're going against something like this, then it's, you know, kind of okay. But Vant can't really compete with anything. So, yeah, like I just don't like the Uro ban in this format, especially baffles me and pisses me off. And the magic that, like the decks that are built around Uro promote is fair, grindy magic. Like that's the way the game should be played. I don't really care what aggro players want or combo players. Like their decks are totally viable. But if you're playing an aggro deck and you lose to the control deck on turn 15, well, like fuck off, dude. Just seriously. Can't be countered. Well, I'm gonna play that. The game's over. This card will take over a game really easily. We're basically done here. Unless he has mass removal, which these decks don't usually do. So now, like, all I have to do is, like, do I want to play Uro or do I want to play Gargaroth? I'll just play Uro. I'll probably counter it, but, like, who gives a shit? I have a giant fucking world-eating snake. I'm surprised this hasn't seen more play. I mean, I haven't played in a while, but... Bounced the wrong card, dude, unless you have Wrath of God. Even then, you still bounce the wrong card, because if you have a counter spell for this, so fucking what? Why didn't I get my snake? Oh, there we go. Oh, he was his turn. Even if he counters this, this is a cast ability, so I still get to draw a shit ton of cards. I don't care. I'm pretty sure I can grind through all this shit. I'm not blocking. This card can take over the game against most anything, so whatever. I'll play this for what? I don't know. How much mana do I have? What the fuck? Why? Why are you playing this? The red decks in this format don't even rely on burn spells that much. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? I don't know. Another problem that people have is that they play really fucking bad decks. So, like, I don't see why, you know, they should be catered to either. Like, it's just fucking stupid. Like, what purpose does this serve? I don't fucking get it. I mean, it's just fucking stupid. Like, I was not expecting Settle the fucking Wreckage at all. So, alright. Well played, there you go. Good on you. That's the basic guy. That was surprising. I was not expecting that at all the way he plays this card. Basically ever. Alright, so now he might, like, honestly get it. I can push the tokens, Wrath of God. I don't... Why? That doesn't benefit you at all. You're gonna play Uro again and then I'm just gonna kill it with Eliminate. Oh my god. That was bad. That was really fucking bad. I mean, unless the rest of his hand is fucking amazing, that was horrible. Because now I have, like, a real chance to just take... Oh my god. Yeah, my opponent just fucked up, dude. Like, he could have played the Teferi, had an amazing board. I mean, that just gave me so many chances to just come back into the game. Like, I do not understand that at all. That was terrible. Like, in my opinion, that was fucking terrible. Yeah, like, that was not good at all. Like, I really don't like his decision. I mean, maybe he's got 2 counter spells left in hand, and, you know, then it kind of is. No. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't know, it just pisses me off when my opponents do stupid shit like that. They're just playing badly, and I don't like it. Like, it really annoys me. But whatever, I mean, like, I'm obviously going to take advantage of it. Really? Alright, dude. Like, okay. Yeah. Do you have another Wrath? Not that it matters, because I'll just Nissa and then Uro. Or Hydroid Crisis, and I'm right back in it. Like, I don't... No? Okay. You're just gonna make a bunch of sharks? Yeah, he fucked up. What? What? What the fuck are you doing? You dumbass? Jesus Christ. I'm gonna cancel that, actually. Like, what the fuck is my opponent doing? Like, I'm sorry, dude. If you see this, you're a fucking idiot. Captain Morgan, you're a fucking idiot. Like, this guy's just routinely throwing away, like, incredible board advantages for seemingly no fucking reason. Like, I don't get what he's doing. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 13, 14. You know, casually draw a new fucking hand, right? Why not? Whatever. Look, if he manages to beat me, that's, you know, like, fucking great. Okay, but he misplayed so horribly. I would be dead if he didn't do that first Wrath of God, let alone the fucking second one. Like, just, like, so unnecessary and just bad. Especially when I didn't have any cards in my hand. Absolutely fucking terrible plays by my opponent. Like, I would be dead. I was not dealing with those sharks. Now I'm just gonna blow the fuck up out of this. Sublime, I don't care. I feel like Sublime Epiphany is just a really bad card that you shouldn't fucking play. I don't care that it has applications in, like, a head-to-head matchup of, like, ramp, mid-rangey control decks. It's a bad fucking card. what do I want to blow up? Do I care that much about the sharks, or would I rather just take out the shark typhoons? How many more non-creature spells does he have? I think because Gargaroth can deal with the 6/6s and then the Krasis can't, I'm just going to aim for these. Like, how much counter magic do you have? Okay, 6. Alright. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just making 11, 11. Do I want to... No, I'm going to call Cosmos Serpent. Can't be countered. Tap that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I might as well make an 8, 8. Do I want to attack with Uro? No, because I don't have. If I had a black land, I would, because then I could fatal push one of the sharks. So I'm not even gonna bother. It's fine. I'm probably gonna lose, but like I would have lost a lot sooner if my opponent hadn't played so loosely. I just bad. So, like, I mean that's fine. I could actually get rid of this. Negate this ability, but I don't care. He's going to draw 5. I don't see this game being over anytime soon. So he might just deck before I do. And if that's how I gotta win, then that's how I'll win. I don't give a shit. Obviously, I let Nissa die. I'll block the 5/5 shark. Why can't I block the shark? Oh, ability. Okay. Okay, so I can get off. Block that. Block. I'm just gonna block the Uro. I don't give a shit. Coma can block. Why doesn't Coma have reach? It's literally the world-ending serpent. Doesn't have reach. Makes no fucking sense. Get the fuck off of here. For fuck's sake, I don't need to fucking see the stats of the fucking thing. God damn it. Block a shark. Alright. I'm just gonna make a 3/3 beast. That's probably best in this scenario. That's usually the right decision. Just make a beast token. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Wrath of fucking God. Sacrifice the serpent dude. Yeah. Yeah, here he goes with the fucking Wrath of Gods again. Like, you're not... He's gonna deck. I mean, that's what's gonna happen. Or I'm just gonna kill him with Coma. Like, one of those two things is gonna happen. So, like, whatever. And as sloppy as he's playing, I seriously doubt he'll remember to tuck to Fairy. So, like, I don't give a shit. Like, whatever. I just kind of want this game to be over at this point. When my opponents start playing really fucking sloppy like this, it just annoys me. Sure. Yeah. Have your sharks. I don't give a fuck. They don't matter. Nothing you do matters at this point. Totally. Have it. Make a shark army. Do you have another counter? You have another counter spell? Alright. Cool. I don't know, I just fucking play Uro. Six, 12. He can't even kill me. Wow. Well, I'll admit, I didn't expect him to have that much fucking counter magic right there because he didn't play any counter spells at all. So, opponent has won despite playing like total dog shit. Opponent has won. So there we go. That's interesting. Now the opponent's probably fucked. I want all of my beat sticks, right? So I want my Assassin's trophies. Growth Spiral is the most negligible card, but it's also a cantrip. So I'm gonna do something really stupid potentially and just play 67 cards. Like I don't give a shit. But judging by this game, or that previous game, and how poorly my opponent played, I think we can all agree that Shark Typhoon deserves to be banned because of the incredible resiliency it lended my opponent, allowing him to play absolutely horrendously, blowing a ton of leads that he had. Of course, he starts with this fucking thing. And then, yeah, allowing him to actually win, despite playing like fucking dog shit. So Shark Typhoon should absolutely be banned. It also sees play in every blue deck, so I mean that's totally worth a ban. By Wizards of the Coast logic and the toxic MTG community, Shark Typhoon should be banned. Should probably ban Growth Spiral too, because it sees play in every blue and green deck, even though it's fucking two colors and just ramps you a little bit. But you should probably ban it. And then you should ban Nissa because it goes in literally every green deck. And you should ban Thoughtseize because it's played in every black deck. You see what I'm saying. I wasn't expecting that. Probably should have, but I was not. I really don't have any removal left in the deck. Not much. So, yeah. This is the first time I've encountered a Bant deck that actually felt like it was good. Although I don't think this is going to... Oh, yeah. Alright, so... Alright. Opponent's deck is interesting. I would like to see what I could do in the hands of somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. That would be great. I think it would actually be decent. I would cut the Sublime Epiphanies because I think it's mostly useless. I'm just going to concede. I'm not coming back from this. I don't have the removal. Alright, so he's got an interesting deck. I'm going to assume that it's not his idea. Just based on how he played game one. So, yeah. Kudos to him and for being able to power through with Shark Typhoon, a card that should clearly be banned. And yeah, that's it for this video. That's like 5 matches, 3 and 2. And again, you can just see that, what the hell is this? That just be like putting Uro in your deck doesn't mean dog shit. Well, that actually sounds appealing. Just using cards from Kaldheim. I like this set on the whole. I don't like this fucking idiot, but I like the set on the whole. So that's interesting. I might play that later. I guess I only have 47 minutes to sign up, so I might not play it. But whatever. Yeah, Wizards are fucking retarded for banning Uro. The MTG community is incredibly toxic, and Shark Typhoon and Thoughtseize should all be banned. So that's the end of that video. And if you manage to make it to the end of the video, because I'm going on like an hour and a half, thank you. Hopefully you agree with me. If you don't just call me an idiot. Go and actually look at the statistics for Eurodex over the past year, and you'll see that I'm right. Um, like like I said, logically, you can't look at it and be like, "Oh, Euro needs banned." Like you just can't do it. So, all right, that's the end of that video.